I want to thank Dashlane for sponsoring today's video, which is awesome because Dashlane is actually something that I use personally every day. I've got like 60, 70 passwords to remember, and I used to do that thing where they'd all have like the same pattern, but I'd change like a word or two in there. Trash. The amount of times I had to do a password reset to access an account was staggering. Dashlane takes all the anxiety out of managing my logins. Not only can it manage and autofill all my passwords on my desktop, my laptop, and my phone, it can even generate and store completely random strings that I would never be able to remember and no one would be able to brute force. Not just passwords either, but usernames, secure notes, scans of your IDs, payment info. There's even a built-in VPN. Wait. That's a ton of information to have in one place. What happens if somebody just hacks Dashlane? I get it. That was literally the one thing stopping me from ever looking at a password manager before. But Dashlane's encryption and detection systems are insane. They never see the master password that you set, and all user account data is decentralized. Our online security is serious. I highly encourage you to do your own research, but Dashlane does a wildly better job of managing my online security than I did before. You can try Dashlane for free on your first device right now by visiting dashlane.com/badseed. And on top of that, they know how many people are working from home right now. They're offering 25% off premium with code BADSEED, and your first 3 months of premium are free. Go check them out. Oh man, it has been way too long. The current state of affairs worldwide has really put a damper on manufacturing and shipping for a while now. So there hasn't been a lot of new stuff coming to market, but we finally got enough to get an episode of The Plug out today. So we have some great stuff here from Ducky, some new keycap sets, something really unexpected from them as well, a new keycap set from TiHouse, something to help you out when you're modding switches, and something that's probably a little excessive in terms of dress up for the inside of your PC. I can't wait. You ready? Let's go! Yo, I'm Brian P. You're watching Bad Seed Tech, and on today's episode of The Plug, we're taking a look at all the new freshness, all the new aesthetic stuff, maybe some stuff you didn't even know existed. Starting it off with new keycaps from Ducky. They are back with 2 new sets and a little something they haven't 100% committed to yet, but it definitely has my interest. I want to hear from you guys on it. First up is the Horizon SA set. For those not in the know, SA indicates the style of the profile. I'd be willing to bet the majority of the caps you own are either OEM or Cherry profile. SA is not only shaped different, it's taller and it's curved front to back in a more dramatic way. Priced at $59.99 US, the Horizon colorway isn't new, but it does look great. All the mods are text-based as well, which I always really like versus icons. You do get some like tangerine colored mods for your WASD, Enter, Escape, etc. Obviously these are not backlit, and they are ABS, but very good quality. Double shot, super thick, edges are nice, though that ABS may turn some of you off. I'm actually working on a video project right now talking about some of the surprising differences between ABS, PBT, and PBT blends, and why most of the more expensive sets you see are ABS. I've learned a ton about the manufacturing process. So I really enjoy the typing experience of SA Profile, and aesthetically, I find them to be ideally suited to a board with higher bezels, not so much on the floating switchboards. These have a really smooth texture to them. I don't often game with these as the surface area, like where your finger makes contact with the top of the key, is a little smaller. So both these kits are 108 keys, US layout, and they'll fit full-size TKL and 60%. What they don't include in a move that totally baffles me is support for the 1.2 SF. That still leaves the Tfue set as the only available aftermarket kit that supports the SF. There's also no support for the Alt or the Hades, so 65% is just out across the board. I don't understand this move. For me, I'd really like to see Ducky do the right thing here and release small add-on compatibility sets that would make these sets and future sets work with the 1.2 SF. It's one thing to have a board where no third-party sets can fit on it 100%, but for Ducky to not support the people that have already bought the 1.2 SF, it's gonna leave some people feeling pretty cold. The second set has all similar specs in terms of included keys and fit compatibility. These are Ducky's take on pudding caps. They retail for $29.99. These are PBT and they are seamless, which is supposed to set them apart from other pudding caps on the market. But being 100, I don't see any reason to pick these up over the pudding caps that have been floating around the market for some time. The surface here is a little more reflective and feels smoother to the touch, but if you put these both on a board and had to guess which was which, it would just be luck if you guessed it right. The other sus thing for me here is that there are no novelties included at all, like not even a Ducky logoed pudding escape key. Nothing to set them apart from the OEMs. Like, these are technically higher quality than the others, but I don't know how many people are going to be willing to spend more to get that same look. Both Horizon SA and the pudding caps are available now at mechanicalkeyboards.com in the US, and I'm not seeing either in stock just yet at Candy Keys. Lastly, being a bit more than fashionably late, Ducky has finally answered the market with a set of rubberized keycaps, and they went all out. This is like a 30-some piece set and covers stuff we haven't seen before. Crazy stuff like left shift, bottom row, spacebar, which I like. And in this case, you actually do get an escape key and a Ducky logo key. The legends are smaller and cleaner than the Taihao caps. They're more in line with the font size of the stock Ducky boards, but what's weird here is that the profile is different as well. Shorter and slightly smaller than the Taihao, which is weird because the Taihao caps actually line up with the key height of stock Ducky keys, but Ducky's own rubber keycaps don't. The color on the Ducky is not as vivid as the color on the Taihao set either. Slight difference in the texture caused them to feel a little bit rougher. The rubber material itself is different, more dense, which may lend itself to more durability. They're also thicker as well, which you can see here. Rubber keycaps aren't normally known for their durability. People more so use them for cosmetic or aesthetic add-ons, or they use them on often used keys to spare their more expensive sets. So these are pretty early. It's more like an interest check and feedback. They're still doing some tweaks here, so no solid word yet on release. I gotta say too, I pulled the Ducky 1 Too Many out for this video. I haven't done that in a while. I honestly forgot how nice the typing experience is on this board, especially with mine having the silent reds. I just love the way these things feel. What's interesting to me is that the SA profile actually changes the sound of the board quite a bit, especially on the mods. So, speaking of Taihao, they're back with a new set they call Sakura Michi, or Sakura Path, priced at $59.99 and currently on pre-order. These are another gradient set from them. Backlit PBT, but a little bit different here. Doing backlit PBT has been a challenge for everyone involved because they can't seem to get perfectly clear legends versus the surrounding color of the keycap. Like, the legends are almost always tinted to the color of the cap to some degree. They work around this by just having every legend in this set tinted hot pink. You can still see a rainbow effect on your RGB, but only the warmer colors are really going to be visible. The packaging here is really nice as well. No issues with warping here, and these are treated caps, so they have that very rough surface to them. Chalky. Some people like this, others not so much. Great look, I think, though. Really subtle flex here. But the place where Taihao is winning right now is in compatibility. Not only do these sets come with ISO stuff, but they also include a host of extra keys that fully support the Alt and the Hades, most every 65% board out there, and then obviously TKL in full size. Not the Ducky 1 Too SF, because Ducky had to go and make that right shift a really rare size. But for those of you that are always asking where you can find some more inexpensive sets that will completely support the Alt or the Hades, I'm going to send you to Taihao before anywhere else. It may require you to do some remapping on that far right column, but you will be able to get a look where the gradient flows perfect and all the row height is correct. All right, let's check out something from one of the masters of acrylic design. This is Quinn, but you probably know him as Clavier, which I'm sure I just butchered. And he's the man behind some of the craziest cases out there, including the Keyblade, which I'm sure you've seen before. He also makes macro pads and lube stations, which we've got here today. This is the Max Lube Station for those extra large lube jobs. It houses 161 switches on one side and 60 on the other side disassembled with space for the top, bottom, and the stems. It's great for staying organized and getting consistent results. It does have a bit of DIY involved as you'll need to peel all the sheets and assemble the panels, but his sense of humor is right up my alley. This isn't something you can just hop online and buy. It's really rare to see any of his stuff in stock. For best results, you can see what he has live in his shop, or if you're looking for something specific, hit him up and talk commissions. Bare minimum, you should at least hit up his Insta. It's amazing. Now for something completely cosmetic from Lee & Lee, a name you should already be familiar with. These are the Streamer Plus cables. These come in two sizes, 24-pin motherboard extension and a dual 8-pin GPU extension. Sadly, I don't own a single GPU that uses dual 8-pin right now, and there's no way to adapt this to an 8+6. Essentially, what you've got here is a standard cable with these LED channels kind of slapped on top. They are just loaded with LEDs as well, 120 in the 24-pin and 108 in the PCIe cable. There are a couple different ways to take advantage here. If you want access to all the modes, the 24-pin cable includes a lighting hub so you can synchronize the effects across both cables. The 8-pin GPU cable by itself does not, so keep that in mind. There are a lot of different modes here with some hilarious ass names like Drizzling, Snooker, Gluttonous Snake. If you want a more synchronized system overall, you can use the 5-volt 3-pin ARGB header to your motherboard, but you'll be limited to whatever options your motherboard lighting control software uses. These are not cheap upgrades by any means, with the 24-pin retailing for $49.99 and the GPU extension going for $39.99. So you're looking at almost $90 here to get both. The quality of the lighting and the animations all look really good though. Really quality in the build as you'd expect from Lian Li, and the install is easy money provided you do have a spare SATA lead. Alright, that's enough for today. Coming up in the next few videos, we do have the 2 new Magni amps from Shit to take a look at, plus the comparison for the JDS Atom stack, plus we're going to look at the EVGA new Audio Pro. We've got some cream switches in from Novel Keys that we're going to lube, and some silent alpacas, and the much requested review of the Matrix mousepads. Lots of good stuff. As always, links for everything down in the description. Any questions, hit me in the comments or drop by the Discord. And that's it for this time. I'm Brian P. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that sub button, and until next time, stay up.